to Diabetes Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing a great family recipe. We're going to be doing chow mein, and I have got some pork mince to use today, but you could also use chicken or beef. So let's get started. So as I mentioned, we're going to be using pork mince for the recipe today. I've also got some dried noodles, which I'll cook before I add to the pan with everything else. You can also get fresh chow mein noodles in the fridge section at the supermarket. I've got red onion, but spring onions would be better. I'm going to add some non-traditional items. So we've got capsicum and we've got some beans to add a bit more vegetables, and I'm going to ease back on the noodle content. Pretty traditional carrot, and also I've got some Savoy cabbage here, but you could use any kind of cabbage that you've got. I've got about a quarter of a cabbage here. That would be the minimum. I reckon half a cabbage would probably be even better. Traditional also would be some bean sprouts or bean shoots, but I don't have any of those today. So I'm going to get started by chopping everything up. So you can see here we've got our veggies, and all we've got there is some beans, carrot, capsicum, red onion and cabbage, which I've sliced them all. And I'm going to do a bit of garlic, and then we're going to get started with the cooking. So our water is boiling, and I'm going to use, this is going to do 4 serves for my family, and I'm going to use a handful of noodles. Stick them in there, give them the stir around, just so they don't stick together. The packet tells me these need 5 or 6 minutes. So we'll let them boil away there while we get started on the sauce. So to make the sauce for the dish, what I'm going to use is, what I've got here is some stir fry wok sauce. Now I actually wanted oyster sauce, but I don't have any, so I'm going to use stir fry wok sauce. I've got some Chinese cooking wine there. I've got some sesame oil. I've got some soy sauce, and I've got some corn flour and some black pepper. So what we need to do is start by adding the soy sauce to the bowl. I'm going to add maybe 2 tablespoons there, 2 tablespoons, and then I'm going to add, I don't know, how much is that? Maybe 2 teaspoons of corn flour, and then give that a mix together. Get rid of the lumps. That's to try and give the sauce a bit of body. It'll thicken it. Okay, so we've got the soy sauce and the corn flour in there. Now we're going to add around 2 tablespoons of stir fry sauce. That might be 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoons of Chinese cooking wine. I'm going to add maybe a few drops of sesame oil. Be careful with that because it's very strong. And then in here, I've just got some peppercorns, and I like to grind my own peppercorns this way because it makes the flavour so much nicer when it's freshly ground, and it's not hard to do, as you can see. And that's around a teaspoon of black pepper there, which we'll also add. Give that a mix. It smells great. And the last thing that I did forget that we need was some sugar. So I'm going to add around a teaspoon of sugar. Okay, so that's our sauce made. So now we're on to cooking. The noodles are now ready. You can see they're nice and soft, so I'm going to drain them before they overcook. So that's what they look like there. They're nice and soft. Nice and soft. To get this underway, we're going to heat some oil up in the pan. I'm using sunflower oil today, but any oil that's good for high temperatures would be good to use here. Peanut oil would be good because it's an Asian-y kind of dish. So I'm going to add some oil, fry my garlic, then add the mince, brown that before I add the sauce and then all the veggies and the noodles, and I'm going to get started. We've got the pan on as high as it'll go here, and that's because we're going to try and stir fry this, so we want lots of heat. I've got the biggest ring and I've got a nice big fry pan. I don't use non-stick because I find the non-stick coatings come off and I don't want to eat that. So I've just got a standard pan and I'm going to use some oil in there. Maybe a tablespoon of oil, I'd say. And we're going to start with the garlic. Put the garlic in. Won't need very long there. Don't want that to burn. Now I'm actually using frozen pork mince. Not ideal, but that's what I've got. And that's real life. So I'm just going to take the paper off the back and stick it in with the garlic. I'm going to move the garlic to the side actually and get that in. While the pork mince is browning here, I'm going to add the onions because they're going to need the most cooking time. So here's our mince and onion. You can see that it's defrosted in the pan nicely there. It's only taken maybe 3 minutes. It's on high heat there. Smelling really good. I'm gonna add the sauce now. I want to coat all the mince. So I've added the sauce. The mince is browned nicely and the onions are cooked with the garlic. So now I'm going to add some of the vegetables. Start with the carrot because they're going to take the longest. And the beans. The capsicum. I'm going to give them a stir and then I'll add the cabbage. How good does that look? So what I've done is add the capsicum, beans and carrot to the mince, onion, garlic and sauce mix. I've still got the cabbage to add and I'm going to go and get the cooked noodles and we'll bring it all together. Next step is to add the cabbage. Now this looks like a lot of cabbage, but that's going to cook down to maybe half the volume. So what I'm going to do is add a splash of water. And I'm going to put the lid on. And I'm going to turn it right down. Have a look at this. Right, I reckon that needs another 2 minutes. Now we've given that a stir. Might put Put the noodles on top for them to heat up. Put the lid on. Give that 2 minutes. And then we'll serve up. So here's the finished dish. And I've turned the heat off now. Just trying to mix the noodles in a bit better. So when we serve it up, what we want to do is end up with about 1/4 of the plate of noodles. And the rest we want to be vegetables and the pork mince. And that looks about right there for me. So you can see there the noodles. There are noodles in there, but that's not the main part of the dish. The cabbage definitely bulks it up, and there's a lot of beautiful vegetables in there. And that's the kind of meal that you want to be making for yourself and your family. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching that today. It looks amazing. The pork mince was a great choice. I love the little kick of pepper. The beans are still crunchy. The flavour's not too strong, so the kids are going to really enjoy this. I think it's a great family meal. It ticks the boxes from a nutrition point of view. We've kept the carbs lower by adding lots of extra veggies. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Diabetes Kitchen.